It is 2 o'clock on the dot. I'm meteorologist Andrew Kozak. We have a next weather alert. Just taking a quick minute to give you an update on what we can expect as we head into this evening. As a very powerful cold front starts to move through, showers and thunderstorms are already moving across areas just to the north and west of us. You can see, though, the colors. Maybe yellow up toward the Allentown area and over toward the Poconos. These are areas into upstate New York that are looking at showers and storms that may put a little bit of a cap on the severe weather, but places like Philadelphia starting to get in on some of those cells. In fact, just south of Philly now, near the airport, and just north and east of Wilmington, starting to get in on some stronger storms that will be moving into the area. So what can we expect as we head into this afternoon? Rain that's already starting and severe thunderstorms with some heavy rain out there, damaging winds, an isolated tornado, and flooding not out of the question. This will impact travel both in the air and on the roads. And of course, with the World Cup in town, we're going to keep you updated here with fresh updates at 3 o'clock, full team coverage at 4, 5, 6, and 11 on CBS News Philadelphia. 3 o'clock on the dot. We have a next weather alert. I'm meteorologist Andrew Kozak. We're really starting to see things fire up across the area right now with showers and a couple of severe thunderstorms. Severe thunderstorm warning now for Burlington, Mercer, Monmouth County, New Jersey, a little bit north and east of the area. But by Berks County, we have one thunderstorm that looks like it has the potential to even drop a quick spin up tornado. Right now it's just a severe thunderstorm warning, but it's on the northeast side, areas like Trenton, just south of Trenton, and just to the east. That's where we're looking at some pretty strong, powerful thunderstorms now moving through. It's the same cell that was coming through Philadelphia that dumped a quick bout of rain and also, of course, some very gusty winds. So a next weather alert continues for the area until we get through the afternoon for severe thunderstorms, heavy rain, damaging winds, even an isolated tornado. Now, this is going to be starting from now, really firing up around 5 p.m. and all the way through the evening hours. That's going to impact air travel, road travel, and of course, the big game, which already have had a few delays here and there. Keep it here. We're going to keep you updated with full team coverage starting at 4 on CBS News Philadelphia. So here's what I'm going to do. You guys can go pan back over to Bill. Bill's got your other computer. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the latest from the National Weather Service.
Absolutely.
Spotters with this as well.
Yeah, do that. I was just looking at the internal from them, and yeah, check that and get back with us. Good evening, everybody. If you're just joining us, we do have the newly issued tornado warning. Let me actually put it on here for you. That expires at this point at 5 o'clock. In addition, we have a severe thunderstorm warning with it as well. So here's Philly. This is Chester County. This is Montgomery County, Upper Montgomery County. And the places that we have that warning right now within, by the way, all the areas of pink is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. And that means conditions are possible. Tornadoes / severe weather, which would be damaging winds, of course, and some large hail. So here we go. Here's 76. It's right in the middle of that. Euclid Township. It's north of Westchester. Westchester, you guys aren't officially in the warning, but this storm is just to the north of you. And if I go back to the radar again and I show you how loud this is, the brighter it is, the worse the weather. And I can tell you, just based on these emblems here, these lightning emblems, this storm is intensifying quite a bit, and there's likely some hail in that as well. I just want to do something real quick and take a sample of this storm because I want to see if there's going to be a hail component to it. And looking at this right here, this to me tells me, especially looking up about 30,000 foot in the atmosphere where you see this purple shade, that tells me that there's stuff lofted up high in the atmosphere. So that's another threat that we're going to be dealing with, the possibility of some hail. The fact that we have more lightning with that as well also tells that story that hail is happening because the hail collides with each other and causes friction, causes a little bit of static electricity to overly simplify it. All right, so we widen this back out. Let me put this into motion, and you can see the general track of this is moving almost due east, slightly north of east. So we'll say east-northeast. So it's heading north of Westchester. It's heading basically into Montgomery County here. We're going to be watching places like Pottstown and Limerick. Let me stop this. I'm going to put a fresh track on it for you before I look at the velocity again. Let's take the leading edge of this. Now there's rain out ahead of it, but when we look at something like this, East Pikeland, 5 o'clock, you got about 10 minutes. Places like West Vincent, 4:55. This is on your doorstep, and I'm sure it's already raining where you are, and you may hear the sound of thunder. You might see the lightning there off into the western sky. Upper Providence, Lower Providence, 5:13, 5:19. Norristown, 5:27. And of course, we start looking at places here like, KOP, a highly trafficked area north there on the Schuylkill Expressway. We could be, or north, let me bring it back just a little bit here. The Blue Route, It's commute time. A lot of folks are out and about this time of the night, so that's something that we want to watch. And Andrew, I just want to see real quick the newest velocity scan, and this talks about the spin in the atmosphere, and that's what we have right here.
Yeah, follow me over to Max 3. I have it also up there as well, and I have it in motion just to kind of show you the last hour or so. Bill was just talking about how this thing has started to intensify a bit. Berks County no longer in the tornado warning. That has been allowed to expire there, but we are watching this area, and I've circled. This is where we have the area of concern. The green meets the red. That is wind going toward the radar. Red is wind going away from the radar. So we got here, and then we've got here, and this would be right along the turnpike. This is 76, where the actual spin is going right now. If you are in West Vincent, this is the time to get to your storm shelter, your basement, at the very least, an interior part of your house. You have to get down and cover your head. We take this very seriously. This is obviously not just now an alert talking about the potential, but the very likelihood that if we're not seeing a tornado here, we are seeing damaging winds. The potential is here, though, for a tornado. And I can tell you, Bill, this is a very pronounced signature. We've both been tracking tornadoes for decades, and I can tell you right now, this looks like if we don't have a tornado on the ground just yet, it'd be very possible that this is giving us a funnel cloud at least.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that bears in mind what you should do. And you mentioned it right there, but I want to show you a couple of other things when there is a tornado warning that's issued in your area, because this hopefully is the only one, but there could certainly be more. So we go into the evening tonight. Obviously, you want to seek shelter immediately. I mean, that's a very, very important thing. As we look ahead, what you also want to do is get to the lowest level of your home, or in a safe room if you have it. If you live in an apartment, by the way, and you're on an upper floor, you want to get down into the lower, maybe go to the clubhouse or something along those lines. If you're in a mobile home and you're in a tornado warning, that is not a safe place to be. If you're at work, you just want to stay away from windows. I know that there's a lot of people that are tempted when there's a tornado warning to go and look at it and see what's going on. We highly encourage you not to do that. If you're in a car or know somebody who is driving, like I just said, we have a commute that's getting going. Here we are, 452. A lot of cars out on the road. If you know anybody, maybe they're traveling north on the Blue Route, and you know they're going to be heading north into the path of where this is going to be, give them a call, pull over, have some dinner, just wait it out, you know, that type of thing. I strongly encourage you. Cars during a tornado warning are very unsafe places to be. You want something that's anchored to the ground. If you're outside, you want to find a sturdy structure. Sometimes, you know, folks are out on the golf course or something like that. Get to the clubhouse. Get in a brick bathroom or things like that. And then, of course, stream coverage on your device. You may want to consider powering up your devices right now, because this is not the only cell we're going to be dealing with all night long. We have strong to severe storms, and if your power goes out, we broadcast absolutely everything, including every cut-in that we do, and you will have that for you. As we are going into the next couple of hours, we're going to be watching, because we do have the watch and we have the warning that's out into our area as we look ahead in our region. So let me bring it back to the radar for one moment, and I'm going to show you what we're looking at in terms of that severe thunderstorm warning. So here we are right now with this tornado warning that's set to expire currently in 7 minutes north of Westchester, and this is moving off to the east at approximately 30 to 35 miles per hour or so. As we look down, I want to give you another track. We talked about those towns and where you should be. Here's, oh, this is better, Andrew. You see this? It's not quite as pronounced as it was over the last track or so, but here's what we're looking at. We bring it in. If we put this into motion, a little bit more pronounced, but not as much. And if I put a fresh track on it for you, we're going to stretch it out this direction.
And we're going to use the right mon to show everybody here with Max 3 what's going on here.
Yeah, what do you got over there?
I took what exactly you just showed, which was the slight weakening of this, and then put a little track on this to show you the towns. Eagle at 454, that's pretty much within a few seconds now. Bayer is 456. West Vincent, we talked about the fact that it's right over you at this point here at about 503. So everybody, if you're in these areas, we're sort of micro tracking this over the course of just the next 5 to 10 minutes to kind of show you as this moves to the east here. It's the red and it's the green. And when those two are up against each other, we put the radar in what we call velocity mode, where we see the winds going toward and away from the radar. When they're up against each other, that's where we see that rotation, whether it's broad scale and you kind of see what we like to call SLCs or scary looking clouds, or if it's more on a smaller level, which potentially could drop a tornado. Right now, Chester, Delaware, and Montgomery counties until 5 o'clock, this tornado warning. Now, we are not keeping our guard down at all with this if this is allowed to expire, because we have now had a day filled with not only severe thunderstorm warnings, but tornado warnings as well. But if you're in these areas, even if the tornado warning is allowed to expire or get replaced by a severe thunderstorm warning, just note that this today means that from here on out, for at least the next couple of hours, the atmosphere is ripe enough and potential for tornadoes are there tonight. And not only that, but as all of you have seen likely within the last couple of weeks, every storm that comes through has the potential now for not just a tornado, but for frequent lightning, flash flooding, and the potential for some damaging winds, which, Bill, we have seen. It felt like the last couple of weeks, every 3 to 4 days, we get these severe thunderstorms that come through.
Right.
And we have had damage across the area, whether it's trees down, power lines down, or building damage.
Yeah, and that's you got the trees into the houses. We've covered those stories, which is really scary. And I want to piggyback off of what you just said in terms of looking out for the remainder of the evening and different storms. Here's the bigger picture. So the warning that we're talking about is this up here, but look it down to the south, well to the south, granted. We're going past the D.C. area, but there's a lot of storm activity, and it's only 4:55. We're right in the peak heating of the day. So over the next couple of hours, we anticipate these getting stronger and generating more energy, and that potential is going to be there for strong to severe storms. And this one that we've been covering isn't going away. I mean, over the last 30 minutes, this is our warn system right here. A lot of lightning with this highly charged system, and that by itself is going to be a threat. We're watching very closely Philadelphia. You got the World Cup match that's starting in 4 minutes, and there are tens of thousands of people out, not just at the stadium, all over the region for these events, in addition to summer events going on. With all the lightning, take the tornado warning aside, if you have kids that are out at a pool and there's the sound of thunder, you've got to get them out. You've got to get into somewhere safe. And like Andrew was saying earlier, I think that is going to be one of the bigger threats that we deal with. It's not severe. Lightning is not severe. You could have 1,000 strikes in a minute. That by itself doesn't issue a severe thunderstorm warning. What does is the winds or the hail or the tornado risk, but it's certainly a big threat, in addition to the flooding threat as well. So again, we are watching this cell here now. This is a new event, tornado warning. They have extended that out into Montgomery County. Let's take a look at that. That's just coming down now live. I'm sure, so not to confuse you, this is the previous one. That's going to drop, and then this is the new one. What they've done is they've dropped it just a little bit farther to the south. They've extended it just a little farther to the east, and they have kept that warning up until 5:30 tonight. So let me take a look and read specifically what they are saying on this one, and we're going to track this out for you too, because what the National Weather Service is looking at is this rotation right here north of 76. So here's the new data, and before we do that, let me put a track on it for you. Extend this on out like this over the next basically half hour or so. So West Pikeland 501, Phoenixville 513. We have Tredyffrin, 518, Lower Providence, 523, Radnor, about 530. So while this is up on the screen, tornado warning issued. It's South Central Montgomery County, Northern Chester County, North Central Delaware County. So it's not the whole county, but that's there until 5:30. It is a radar indicated tornado. And they are picking up as well on this one, tornado and quarter-size hail, which is classifiably severe. It's an inch in diameter. So they are looking at the tornado and the hail risk there. Westchester, Phoenixville, West Norton, East Norton, Downingtown, Valley Forge, Paoli, Chester Springs. If you hear any of your cities, that something that we need to watch closely. I'm not seeing any chat from them in terms of them talking to emergency managers or anything. Have you seen it?
No, but you know what? Meteorologist Tammy Souza, this is all a group effort here.
Yeah,
obviously,
for sure.
Even when you're not working, we're sending me some behind-the-scenes stuff we look at, little debris ball.
Okay.
It looks like that it's very likely that there's at least something happening there very close to the ground with a potential there for this actually having to drop a tornado. We haven't seen any confirmation yet, but some of the tools that we look at behind the scenes show us that it is a potential.
Yeah, you know,
there.
we can actually pull up the it's called thank you, Tammy, by the way.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Let's bring up the CC in here in just a second.
While he does that, let's take
it.
a look at again, if you're just joining us, we are in an next weather alert for tornado warning now for Chester County, Delaware County, and Montgomery counties until 5:30. That next weather alert for the severe storms and heavy rain. Obviously, this is going to take place all the way through this evening, wind, lightning, flooding, and now, of course, that tornado warning that we're seeing there for Chester, Montgomery, and over toward Delaware. Delaware County. So the bigger picture here shows you where we're seeing the biggest threat, and that's on these storms now moving very close to the Philadelphia area. Philadelphia, you are not under a tornado warning right now just yet. If this does hold together, I wouldn't be completely shocked if especially the northern part of the county was under that. But there it is right now. And let me get in a little bit closer. Bill has been showing you this. We have been showing you this. The area of green, this storm movement. It's wind going toward the radar, and the red is away from the radar. So here we go right now, just north, about 2 to 3 miles north of 76. This is going to be approaching the West Pikeland area. This is the most likely potential for where a tornado would drop in this storm. Certainly, this is the area where we're seeing the biggest chance of not only the tornado being there, but also where we're seeing the rotation, not just on a broader scale, but as you can see, zoomed in here, very, very close on a small scale. I believe right now we're going to take just a second just to welcome our new viewers and let you know that the CBS News Philadelphia news at 5 o'clock, that begins right now. So we're going to continue to go. For those of you joining us, it is now 5 o'clock, and we have a fresh tornado warning that continues now for Chester, Delaware, and Montgomery counties until 5:30. Myself, along with Chief Meteorologist Bill Kelly, have been watching this very carefully and tracking this thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. We have no official word yet if there's a spotter or an official drop that it actually has touched the ground. But if you are in this area, you need to take caution immediately. Get to a shelter. If you don't have a storm shelter, go to a basement. If you don't have a basement, go to an interior part of your house. Windowless preferred. Get down and protect your head. That's where most of the injuries happen. Bill, we're going to zoom back out to both of us right now. You've been tracking this as well.
Right.
And I believe you said you were taking a look at some more behind the scenes.
Yeah, more behind the scenes. I looked at that. It's called correlation coefficient. A little bit of something there. But what I want to do right now is just take a fresh track. And Andrew was just telling you what you should do. Well, where should you do that? And what time are we looking at? So this is Interstate 76. And what I have on here is this is looping over the last 30 minutes. And you see that area right there of the red and green. That is where the radar is side by side showing different winds in a different direction. And it's a tool that we use to find where in the storm is likely, the tornado is likely. And so it's right here, just north of 76. So East Pikeland, 5:10. That's about 10 minutes from now. We really want you to take this storm seriously. If you know anybody outside, it's time to get inside, let the storm system pass. Not only does it have this potential for a tornado on the ground, we have not got confirmation. Andrew, just yell out if you see that they have confirmed that at all, just yell it out.
You got it.
Okay? Thanks, man. Phoenixville, 5:15 as this continues to move its way right along and north of 76. Upper Providence, Lower Providence. Now we're talking about 5:19, 5:25. And again, this is based on this storm moving at roughly 30 miles per hour, 30 to 35 miles per hour. Lower Marion, 5:29, we'll say 5:30. Norristown, 5:32. And as I just move this map, I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to leave that cone there for just a moment, but we're going to bring it on over here and show you, I mean, this area here, there's King of Prussia. This storm, if it keeps at the same trajectory, is likely going to stay south of Pottstown, at least the rotation part of this storm. The storm is much larger. The storm has impacts that will reach outside of this tight area that we're focused in on for this tornado warning. But this is a region, you got the Schuylkill Expressway coming in where it all kind of joins together here. There's Norristown. This is where there's so much traffic. I can't encourage you enough. Blue Route, anybody you know that's out and about, that's traveling, it's 5 o'clock, it's commute time, please call them and just, they're driving in the car, say, hey, pull over, grab some dinner. If you know someone that's heading north right now, the last thing that you want is somebody in a car stuck in traffic, because it's going to be slow regardless, right? It's slow always on the Schuylkill Expressway. We know that, right, where it meets in this area. But at 5 o'clock on a night when then there's active weather and rain, it's going to be dead slow. And then there happens to be a tornado that comes through. That is an absolute recipe for disaster. So I can't encourage you enough to, if you know anybody that's doing that, whether they're traveling south or north, and a lot of people this time of day are going to be traveling north, I can't encourage you enough to do that, because you pull over, play it safe. The worst that's going to happen then is you get some dinner and maybe you arrive home an hour late or something along those lines. But that is, to me, a very important part of this puzzle. So many times people say, well, whatever, it's a tornado warning.
Right.
We get tornado warnings all the time and we never see it. It only takes one.
Well,
right?
and not only that, but you don't need a tornado warning to have damaging winds or life or property-threatening weather. Let me bring you back over here, because what I'm showing right now is a loop in the last hour of where we're looking at the potential for where this tornado is. Again, tornado warning now until 5:30. That's going to be for Chester, Delaware, and Montgomery counties. A couple things to talk about. First of all, I have some good news. Do not let your guard down. We certainly are not. But the good news here is that the projected and potential rotation is starting to show weakening, at least on a radar level. The pronounced dark red is no longer there, which means while we're still seeing some rotation, it does look a little bit weaker. Does this mean there was a tornado and now there's not? Potentially. Does it mean that the storm itself is weakening? More likely it is. But we cannot let our guard down, because I want to reiterate one thing here. We do not have any active warnings for Philadelphia right now, but there are so many people out there for the World Cup, and the stadium is filled right now. It is 5 o'clock, a little after 5 o'clock, and we have plenty of people outside. I want you to know, especially if you know people down there, I myself know people down there right now, if there are areas of thunderstorms moving in, which there are 100% going to be, whether it's a tornado warned storm or a severe thunderstorm, or even if it's just a regular plain old garden variety thunderstorm with lightning. Lightning kills, and we have to make sure that everybody's inside. So if you know people that are out there, it's a good idea within the next 15-20 minutes, I'm talking about Philadelphia, to make sure everybody that you know should get inside and heed the warnings that we have thunderstorms coming your way. But back to the tornado warning here for Chester, Delaware, and Montgomery counties. The potential area of rotation is starting to weaken a little bit. And Bill, while that is good news, it's still relatively early in the afternoon, and we are still looking at a pretty, we'll say, potent next couple of hours across this area.
And that's what I want to focus on next. But before I do that, Andrew, there is if you want to go on to the National Weather Service Slack channel, there's actually a couple of pictures there from Montgomery County Fire and also a ham operator that have given us permission to use it on the air. If you could just throw those into the weather computer, and then we can show those. There's one that you can kind of see a wall cloud, and that's basically a lowering of the cloud as the tornado occurs. So we'll take a look at that. So thank you guys for allowing us that permission there, and I'm going to continue to monitor the National Weather Service. All right, so here's what we have going on. It is 5:07. The bigger picture, we'll get to back to the tornado warning in a moment. We have a couple of cells that have now developed west of the Philadelphia area. All three of these that I'm seeing are strong. Only one is warned. The warning that we have at the moment is the tornado warning right here. It is the lone warning that we have. This is up now until 5:30. It's the same one that we've been tracking. But that doesn't mean it's the only impact driver that we have. I'm going to come back to this in just 1 second. If you were watching the newscast at 4 o'clock, I was tracking this system here, this one down to the south that continues to hold strong. It was over the Susquehanna River. It's now in Chester County. It's continuing to push to the north. We're watching very closely up and down the I-95 corridor. I'm going to put these into motion, and while I'm doing that, I'm still going to keep the tornado warning outline on the map right here. So let's put this and just loop this for a moment. All these storms are moving up to the northeast and then shifting to the east a little bit. Here's Philadelphia. The game has started, to my knowledge. I assume it started. I haven't heard any different. It was supposed to start at 5 o'clock. Yeah, thank you guys. That's our live shot. That's outside of Philadelphia Stadium right now. And look at it in the upper left-hand side of that. You see all the people there. Tens of thousands of people. I don't know what the head count is in there right now. I'm guessing it's somewhere in the, well, I'm not even going to guess, but it's tens of thousands, I'm sure. And then if this were to go overhead, even a lightning storm, just a storm that has lightning, let alone severe weather, let alone large hail or tornado warning that's in effect, that is going to be seriously problematic and impactful. And we're watching this storm right now as we go through.
I can confirm now, the National Weather Service has confirmed by a spotter that there was a, over Chester Springs, confirmed funnel cloud with this storm.
Oh, was there really?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
So that was Chester Springs, so we can backtrack that a little bit. But now we can confirm this tornado warning produced a funnel cloud, which, as you know, a funnel cloud is a tornado that hasn't reached the ground just yet. But obviously that would give us the good reason for this to have a tornado warning. So yeah, Chester Springs is where it is.
And as we go back, and that's what we're looking at, this rotation right here. This is what we keep our eyes on. This color, that is where the radar is showing different signs right now. And this goes back over the last 30 minutes or so as it's kind of racing along. You see there's Wallace. We bring it on back. This one, it was in Berks County a little bit earlier on today. We widen this back out, moving out of Berks County into Chester. But that's the cell that we've been watching. And now, as I just put this into motion, the reason the National Weather Service has kept this on is because it continues right here to show that sign of there being that spin in the atmosphere. And currently that warning is up until 5:30 in the areas that's shaded in the red just north of Westchester. The whole area is what's called the polygon. And so if you're in there, that's where the warning is itself. You may have had your phone alarm go off that there's a tornado warning in your area. But the storm, by the way, before I go to the specifics, the storm is large. The storm is north of this polygon, but all of these emblems here are cloud to ground lightning strikes. So very, very active, very charged with hail potential up to a quarter size. The size of a quarter, that's 1-inch diameter hail. That's a severe classification of hail. But when we're looking at where that potential rotation is within this, it's a real tight spot. It's this color right here where we see, and it's the good news here, just analyzing this radar, it's getting less and less. The stronger the tornado, the clearer the tornado, the clearer these pixels are. And they are starting to become a little more muddied than they were before. But right in here, Charlestown, you see that there making its way off to the east. What do you got over there?
Just fantastic news, obviously, but we were still keeping our eyes on it. I did circle where the tornado, where the funnel cloud was over Chester Springs. So this is the area here. This is Downingtown to the south, and then we've got 76 right there to the north. So really between 100 and 76, there we go. And this is the area that we did have the confirmed now by a spotter for the National Weather Service funnel cloud. And this would coincide, Bill, with when we first got the warning, where this storm was starting to initiate, where we saw the potential for the rotation. And then, of course, it shifted to the east. But again, good news is that when it was over here and when we saw the funnel cloud, now that we know being spotted there officially, the good news is that the pronounced signature on the velocity, the storm movement, is way less, if not almost non-existent at this point. So if this thing did touch the ground, then it would be classified as a tornado. That is now no longer an issue, but we're going to continue. That tornado warning does continue until 5:30. What this also tells us, Bill, is we cannot let down our guard tonight with any of these thunderstorms, and we've seen it time and time again. If you get a severe thunderstorm warning between now and 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, it doesn't mean that you're tornado free. It means that at least 60-mile-per-hour winds, gusty winds, heavy rain, and maybe some hail, but also the potential for the tornado with this environment exists even if you don't have a tornado.
And they can be very quick and short-lived, exactly. And that's what we'll watch. I just did a fresh track for you. And folks, what we do here, our primary reason that we are here is to help protect you and your family and your property. That's what we do. We love doing weather. Nice days are great, but this is why we stay on the air, and this is why we stay on for these things. I just did a fresh track for you, moving off to the east, again, roughly 30, 35 miles per hour. Lower Providence, right around 526, so we're still keeping it within that time frame that we've been tracking. Perkiomen, right 521, that's roughly 9 minutes from now. Schuylkill at 516, Norristown 533. At this point, the tornado warning is set to expire at 5:30. I would venture to say, unless there is a spotted tornado from an emergency manager, from a local law enforcement, somebody who they can verify there, they'll probably let that down, but they'll probably continue the severe thunderstorm warning because the hail is likely severe on this one as well. Plymouth at 537. Just to set the stage, let me widen this out to show you where I am. So if you're just joining us, you can see what we're looking at here. So Philadelphia is right here. Okay, this is the Schuylkill Expressway moving right up to King of Prussia, heading north towards Pottstown and Limerick here. So that's that. This is where this color is where I just did that track for you. So Phoenixville is going to be in that. It's going to be just to the north of I-76 where we're seeing the heaviest of that rain, and it will continue to push off to the east into Norristown, right on into Montgomery County. If it holds together, we'll track this all the way across into Lower Bucks County as well. And this is something that has, you know what, I'm a little more concerned, honestly, Andrew, right now with the hail potential out of this, because it really is showing some signs of not settling down at all.
And also lightning. And one of the things, we talked about this earlier too, there's now lightning being reported in the King of Prussia area, which shows you that this is now getting ahead of the storm. But that also tells me, Bill, with the hundreds of thousands of people in town for the World Cup, people visiting from out of town that may not be, or out of the country, that are not familiar and may not have warnings on their phones.
That's true. They don't have it plugged into this area.
No, there are people that may be visiting just a few states away that don't have this area plugged in. So
Right.
here is what you need to do. If you are out, and you see this here on the side of the screen, a live look of what it looks like there at Philadelphia Stadium. We are now an hour or less away from lightning being very close, if not in Philadelphia. So you need to tell everybody that you know that's out there, give them a heads up, get a safe place to go to, because lightning strikes ahead of the storms by several miles, more than
Absolutely.
that. In some cases, 20 to even 30 miles in the most extreme cases.
Yeah, both from the blue. Yeah.
So you really do need to make sure that you're in your shelter, or that you're sheltered in place inside there. But Bill, this is going to be one of those things where, while we are tracking the tornado warning, we absolutely have to be just very vigilant about all the people that are outside in Philadelphia, because these storms are making a beeline, whether they stay severe or not.
Absolutely. And that lightning, as we were saying, is not by itself severe. It's not like, oh, there's 100 strikes, therefore it's a severe thunderstorm. And it's a huge impact when there's outside. Lightning comes in the middle of the night, the impacts are going to be if it hits a tree and a tree falls into the house, that type of thing. When it's 5 o'clock at night, and you got these folks out of the stadium, you got folks out, they canceled Lemon Hill, if I'm not mistaken, today. I mean, that's good. But then there's this time of year, people in pools, people at water parks, people having barbecues.
But then you throw in the World Cup. And
that's
a lot more.
It's crazy, right?
So there's that. But again, the tornado warning is still in effect. That has not been allowed to expire or cancel early. But we still have a good 15 minutes to go. Again, for Chester County, Delaware County, Montgomery counties until 5:30. Bill, what we've been tracking, of course, is a reduction in the rotation here.
Yeah, look at that.
But a confirmed spotter confirmed a tornado funnel cloud, which leads to a tornado. So at least a funnel cloud. We'll have to see if there's any damage. That may take a little while to assess. But right now, a funnel cloud was reported in Chester Springs
right.
a little less than an hour ago. So we are obviously going to be on this and tracking this until it's done.
I want to go back here to the just talking about what you do if you're just joining us and you happen to be in an area where the tornado warning is. What do you do during a tornado warning? Then I'm going to give you another fresh track. I'm liking that the signs are showing it calming down, or at least decreasing in that rotation. It's still a very strong storm. You need to seek shelter immediately, and that's why we're here. So you can listen to your town, and we'll tell you where it is, and then you take the shelter. But also help us, help your loved ones. Make some phone calls. If you know anybody who's in a car, who's in a house, who's in the path of that, please, you can be part of the weather coverage. You can be part of the story, keeping people safe. Please help us do that. At your home, lowest level or a safe room. At work, you want to get away from any windows. Get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And that's good advice during a severe thunderstorm too, because straight line winds can be damaging. They're just not rotating. They're just going in one direction. I've mentioned this multiple times. If you're in a car, pull over, get into shelter. And most people are not listening to this newscast in a car. They could have the app on and have it down and just be listening, but you are, and you know where they are. Give them a ring. Let them know. Outside, if you're at a park or a baseball game or a golf course, find a sturdy structure for sure. You want to get something that's anchored down. And of course, streaming coverage on your device. I say it over and over. The CBS News app, you can just log on. You go to CBS News Philadelphia. That's what I use personally. That is what I personally use when there's something like this, to watch the coverage. And I encourage you to do that as well. Everything's online, and I know we're streaming right now. I don't even have to think about it. I know we're streaming live. I want to bring in Yuki Washington. Yuki, you said, I'm hearing that you have something. You have some information.
No, just a question for you, Bill. Earlier you mentioned this, the two of you mentioned this is moving about 30 to 35 miles per hour. I was just curious, does speed have anything to do with the reduction of rotation that you're seeing in some spots now?
Not necessarily the speed of it itself. What's likely doing that is this is moving into an area where we earlier had some active weather. We had that severe thunderstorm roll through Philadelphia. So that actually took a little bit of energy out of the atmosphere, just a little bit. And so this, as it's moving across, it's not a classic setup. It's not like an EF3 tornado that you might see in Oklahoma City. Okay, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to show you that. It's on the same storm, I believe. But so the nature of these, I guess what I was trying to say, this is a new warning, a severe thunderstorm up to the north. I'll track that in just a second. You'll get these what are called spin-ups. You'll get this line of storms that has a lot of wind. You get a brief spin-up rotation. It might stay like that for a period of miles. And then as the storm's going, it just kind of erodes a little bit, where a lot of those massive tornadoes will just stay and kind of keep the energy among themselves and continue to push off to the east.
We'd even be more concerned, and it may be something we have to deal with. This is also another part of the kind of answer to Yuki's question too, to bring in, is later on when we start to go away from tornado warned storms and likely more of straight line winds,
right,
the quicker that moves, the better chance that you're going to have damaging winds.
Yeah, absolutely, because it'll put out kind of some energy out ahead of it as well.
We saw that in the last couple of weeks, 45, 50 mile per hour winds. Yep. I want to show everybody, because there is some concern. I know we have a new severe thunderstorm.
Go ahead and cover that, and then I'll cover the new severe thunderstorm warning. I'll get this.
That's going to be Berks, Montgomery County. That does include Doylestown. That's going to be on the northern edge here. But I want to show you, that's the storm that's warned up in this direction. Then we've got the tornado warning for Chester, Delaware, Montgomery counties. And then we have this next storm. This is another one now that should be coming in here. That might just be an update.
That's just an update.
That is just now kind of clipping Delaware and moving a little bit further west. This is going to be moving over toward Westchester. This storm on the bottom end here is actually not severe, at least yet, to be warned. But Bill, this is to our answer earlier, what we were talking about. You've got 3 storms in a row. One, a severe thunderstorm warning for areas to the north, like that one that includes Doylestown. Then you got the tornado warned storm, and then you got the storm here. And look where they're all converging. Philadelphia, you are no doubt going to be getting a thunderstorm of some magnitude within the next 20 to 30 minutes.
Absolutely.
And even if we don't get the warned storm for Philadelphia, I would be very surprised if we don't have any type of warning for Philadelphia as these move through. But it doesn't matter, because as we were talking about, we have lightning to worry about here. So now is the time, if you know people in Philadelphia that are out, and there are so many people out, they need to start thinking about getting in within the next 15 to 20 minutes, less if they can, because Bill, it is no doubt a beeline that these storms are going to be making their way toward Philadelphia. Whether it is going to be severe or not, lightning is going to be a huge concern for the thousands, if not tens or hundreds of thousands of people that are out and about.
A couple things I want to talk about. First, getting a report of some very heavy rain in King of Prussia. And that, of course, with a lot of traffic converging there. Number 2, and I'm going to get to this new severe warning in just a moment, but I want to talk about what Andrew just mentioned. This storm down to the south is not warned, but putting it up in Philadelphia, I just wanted to track it out for you. 5:52 according to the track at 30 miles per hour. At minimum, we're talking rain. Worst case, we're talking a very strong severe storm. But now we're officially watching Philly and South Philly for that potential. And even PHL, that's much closer to the stadium there. Is that King of Prussia that we're looking at there? What's that? What interchange you said? Oh, Valley Forge interchange. There you go. That's PA Turnpike there with the heavy rain. And also, too, if you look at it closely, you can see the rain moving sideways in this upper left-hand side. That's an indication of the strong winds rolling through that area. So we are officially now looking at some kind of active, impactful weather event over Philadelphia Stadium with all those people out there that you can see the live photo there. I hope that they have a team of meteorologists there with FIFA, and they got their plan in place, and they know what they're going to do when and if they need to take those people and get them somewhere safe. You see the tree there in the foreground of that shot starting to blow around a little bit. If you know anybody that's there, shoot them a text. We have 5:40. I would say within the next 20 minutes, we really need to start watching that very clously. Again, it's not a severe thunderstorm warning, but you can see it's a continual deterioration there of the Valley Forge interchange there along the PA Turnpike. Now, let's go up to this severe thunderstorm warning. I don't want to forget you guys up to the north at all, because we have a very strong storm into the north. Let me put on our current warnings in the area. The pink is the severe thunderstorm watch. Now this is a brand new warning that just now popped up as well, and it's just, there it is right there, north of Philadelphia. It includes Burlington County, sections of Burlington County. It's Philadelphia, basically from Philly north into Philly. We're now lower Montgomery County. And then this warning here is the one for Bucks County, central Bucks County, essentially, moving its way across. So there is a lot to digest on this. So let's start with the newest warning that just came in as a severe thunderstorm warning. So let's take off the big bright polygons. Let's put the radar on, and I'm going to go down, and it is the same storm here that we've been tracking with that tornado warning. There's Tredefren. 5:23 right now. You have a very loud night with all the lightning. That is a fresh lightning strike that's going in through that area. This is moving off to the east, so I'm going to track this on out through Montgomery County for you at about 30 miles per hour. I'm going to take the heaviest part on the leading edge, and let's just get localized here. We have Norristown in a few minutes, if it's not there already. Kozak at 5:30. You know, severe thunderstorm warning in effect, strong winds, large hail, heavy rain, frequent lightning. Get kids out of pools, get, you know, anybody's outside, bring them in for sure. Let's fast forward. Abington, 5:49. Cheltenham at 5:52. That is this cell that it now has a fresh severe thunderstorm warning that is up until 6:15 p.m. That's that one. Let me take you to the one to the north. You folks are in Doylestown right now. You guys have very active weather with most of these lightning strikes just to the north of your area. And this too, I'm just going to take a track of the leading edge like this. Let's draw this out through Bucks County. Warrington, that's at essentially now 5:28. You got Lambertville, that's at 5:40. Upper Makefield, about 5:47. And Pennington at 5:55. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. Damaging winds, large hail, frequent lightning, heavy rain. We're not getting any tornado warnings on these, Andrew, which is good. Although, when you look at this over Doylestown, I mean, there's a pretty, now that's a bigger signature, so that's probably outflow winds, meaning winds coming out of the storm and pushing out. Away from the radar.
When he says bigger signature, it's not a tight.
It's not tight, right? Yeah. Meaning that if there's a tornado, it's usually pretty small where those winds are spinning. When you get big signatures like this, that's generally a lot of wind going a different direction than the radar. So, but we're going to watch it closely on that one.
I also want to show that it proves the point that you don't need a warning, tornado or severe thunderstorm, to start getting near damaging winds.
Sure.
And I want to point out on the, if you mind real quick, on the bottom edge of what we've been tracking, this thunderstorm here, and this has the potential to get closer to South Philadelphia and Philadelphia Stadium, or the link, of course. So that's why I want to talk about this real quick. This storm here is not severe, but it is over Westchester. And look at these little lightning barbs. Each one represents a cloud to ground lightning strike. And this one is making a beeline for the Philadelphia area, including South Philly. So while we don't see the wind, right, we see the green, which is wind toward the radar, up against wind away from the radar. There's no red. So there's no real rotation with this. That's good, right? But here's the bad. I took a look at how strong those winds are when you get close to Philadelphia with that storm on the bottom here. And take a look at this. We're taking a look at the velocity here. There's the tornado warned storm. And we have an area that is at 54, I believe it is 54 miles per hour. So that is where we're looking at right there.
Which storm were you looking at there?
That is the storm,
bottom one?
That is the storm on the bottom. Let me go back real quick. That is the storm that is approaching the southern area here. 54 mile per hour winds with that. We also have, I think we may have some video lightning at, there we go, King of Prussia.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, so again, cloud to ground lightning, that is not something we ever get issued a severe thunderstorm warning for. It just comes with the territory for any garden variety thunderstorm that you would see. And that was what makes us concerned tonight about the storms that are approaching the south. Again, we have the tornado warned storm up here, crossing over 76. Then we have the severe thunderstorm over toward Doylestown on the bottom edge. We have this storm here that is approaching potentially South Philly. And that one, while it is not warned, has plenty of cloud to ground lightning.
Hey, Andrew, real quick, National Weather Service said they are going to let that tornado warning expire at 5:30. So that's
fantastic
some good news there.
And that's not surprising, considering we've been watching this thing, kind of diminish a little bit. But again, diminishing tornado warning, that is good news. Our guards are not let down at all, Bill, because it's really not just the lightning. And normally it's the wind and the flash flooding, and maybe the hail if we get some big hail, that is concerned. But the lightning, we usually say use common sense, especially when these storms go through. But just because there are so many out-of-towners.
And time of day,
but so many people from out of town, so many foreigners in town that may not have their phones connected the way we do to the National Weather Service here in America. We need to make sure that everybody that you know is inside and has a plan to get inside if you're down by the stadium.
You know, and tonight it's France and Iraq. I don't know what the weather conditions are there on just an average in Iraq in terms of lightning and severe weather. Do folks know what to do when there's severe thunderstorms? I mean, it's a totally different climate where some people are from. And so, you know, in the same way that if we went up to the far north and there were, different cold weather alerts that we may not be used to, that type of thing. So it's so vital that you can help us out if you know anybody to just get that message across.
Absolutely.
Here's, you mentioned, Andrew, those winds. This is where you were talking about, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right here, just south of Westchester. In fact, if we look at this, I just did a sample. This individual sample I took at 38 miles per hour. There's some down near Hockessin that's probably a little bit stronger in that one. There's 45. So this is what he's talking about, where the radar is picking up winds that are 40 to 50 miles per hour. And this storm is heading toward the city. Let's do a fresh track on that. Bring it up to the big picture. Good evening, everybody. It is now 5:29, 5:30. I'm meteorologist Bill Kelly along with meteorologist Andrew Kozak. We are covering a severe weather event throughout the region, but most notably these three storms coming together. The severe thunderstorm warnings that are up are going to continue till 6 and 6:15. The tornado warning itself is going to expire here in 15 seconds, and that is that red that you see there. It'll probably drop off the map in just a moment. But not only do we have the severe thunderstorm warnings, which are these two polygons here, so Bucks County, Montgomery County, North Philly, and a sliver here of Delco, but not generally the entire county. That's where we have it. You saw the tornado warning, 5:30 on the nose, drop off of there. But in addition to all of that, as we were just talking about, there are storms that are very strong with frequent lightning, and I'm really, and you've heard Andrew and I talk about this, we're throwing lightning into this story as an equal threat. We're not just focused on tornadoes. We're not just focused on those strong winds or hail. We need to really take this lightning seriously because people are outside. We have that link shot or Philadelphia Stadium shot that we've been showing. And let me just real quick before you take off, let's just keep it here. I just want to track out.
Oh, that's what I have up on.
Oh, do you have that
I
on?
have it up on 3. Yeah.
Fire on over. You're tracking it out to Philadelphia.
I read your mind.
Same page. There you go.
Yeah. So what we have right now is the leading edge, and it's funny because they're actually starting to look like they're merging into a little bit of a line. But what I want to show you is the leading edge of not just the storm, but the leading edge of where we have the lightning. And that right now is Radnor at 5:33. That's about 2 minutes from now. If you don't have lightning in Radnor now, you will have it within a few minutes. Cloud to ground lightning in Marple around 5:44. Media around 5:59. 6:06 in Marion. And if you start talking about the stadiums, let's talk about PHL first around 6:36. So the stadium probably just around that same time. So we've got right now about 45 minutes to an hour, but I really think this thing is starting to pick up a little bit of steam as these cells are merging. So really, this thing is going to be moving in within the next half hour to 45 minutes. We're going to start having some lightning, cloud to ground lightning strikes in the Philadelphia area. We've already seen it, and pretty dramatic cloud to ground lightning strikes. We showed you some video there from King of Prussia area. Also, if you haven't noticed, it's getting darker behind us.
It's getting darker,
we're gonna next weather sphere. So
we're going to take a scan of those cameras here in just a moment, but our severe weather coverage continues. We'll watch it. We're going to send it over to Yuki, Washington now.